The film commences on a cloudy afternoon as a vehicle passes through a disinfection zone in Chinyang. The driver stops beside a man in a protective suit who removes his mask to explain minor leaks in a nearby biotech district. As the vehicle departs, the driver, attempting to reach his phone, hears a loud bump and realizes he unintentionally hit a deer. Annoyed, he leaves the scene. Shortly after, the bloody and cold body of the deer resurrects from the dead. In the following morning, Seok-woo, a workaholic father, receives a call from an investor wanting to divest from biotech due to rumored leaks. Seok-woo calmly persuades him not to, suggesting that the rumors might be false information. Later, he instructs Mr. Kim to liquidate all funds associated with the leak, despite being aware of its problems and harmful effects. Later that day in Seok-woo's house, Suwon, his daughter, calls her mother on her phone while nestled under a blanket in her dim room. As the light flickers on, Suwon ends her phone call in a hushed manner as she senses her father's arrival. In her room, Seok-woo hands over an early birthday present to Suwon. She opens it with a blank expression, revealing a familiar gift. Seok-woo consoles her, offering the same gift in exchange. He then asks about her birthday wishes, and she straightforwardly expresses her desire to leave for Busan the next day. In Su's bedroom, his mother leaves a video recorder containing Suwon singing on his bed. Su watches the video with joy, but his mood shifts when he sees Suwon stop singing abruptly. Early the next morning, Seok-woo and Suwon head to the train station. En route, they are startled by emergency vehicles and fire trucks rushing to a burning building. Later, a group of baseball players on the train is surprised by the arrival of Jinhee, the school's cheerleader captain, who sits beside Min-yang. The players tease them about Jinhee's feelings for Min-yang-gu. Meanwhile, Seok-woo and Soon find their seats on the train. As it departs, the conductor overlooks an injured woman rushing on board. After leaving, he observes a commotion from a distance. The door closes, and outside the train, the conductor is attacked and knocked to the ground. Suwon, startled, considers informing her father but discovers he is in a deep sleep and decides not to disturb him. As Suwon is about to use the restroom, she notices a scared homeless man inside being questioned by a male attendant and Yan-suk for his reluctance to leave. The man whispers that everyone is dead, leaving the attendant confused. Sang-hwa, a middle-aged man, intervenes to prevent Suwon from opening the lavatory door, pointing out another restroom for her. Meanwhile, Seok-woo looks for Suwon after awakening from a brief nap. Hearing about a woman suffering a seizure, he anxiously searches for his daughter. The previously injured woman is now experiencing a seizure, and a female attendant rushes to assist her, calling for help from another attendant. The infected passengers start attacking others, causing chaos and panic as people flee to another railway car. A male attendant discreetly notices the situation and rushes to warn other passengers, pulling one from sleep before being viciously bitten on the neck. Meanwhile, Seok-woo is disoriented and confused until Suwon yells for him to come closer. He immediately carries her, and they run away from the infected passengers. In another train car, Sang-hwa is puzzled by the frantic running and screaming. Suddenly, he and his pregnant wife, Sun-jang, witness a screaming woman being attacked by an infected passenger. Annoyed, Sang-hwa drives the man to the laboratory, locking him out to assist the screaming woman. As Sang-hwa delays the infected from reaching the survivors in the other train car, the survivors gather in one of the railway cars, and Yan-suk orders Seok-woo to close the glass door to prevent the infected and Sang-hwa, his wife, from entering. Eventually, the couple breaks through the glass door, luckily avoiding getting bitten. They wet the door with water and stick newspapers to conceal themselves from the infected. Seok-woo's mother calls him on his phone while gasping for air, bidding farewell as her voice abruptly changes to mimic the infected. The call ends, leaving Seok-woo in tears. The conductor announces the final stop at Daejeon Station, instructing everyone to exit as the military is deployed there. Arriving at the deserted station, the surviving passengers leave the train one by one. Yan-suk rushes to persuade the conductor to take him to Busan, the safest route, but the conductor insists on taking everyone on board secretly to expedite the process. Yan-suk sighs in annoyance as passengers move inside the station. Inside, they are surprised by a large number of infected soldiers, prompting them to move quickly to avoid the attacks. Seok-woo, in fear for his daughter, sees Sang-hwa and his wife saving her from an imminent attack. Subsequently, Seok-woo runs fast, encountering an infected person blocking his way. The homeless man covers with a jacket, and Seok-woo manages to escape as well. Passengers rush back to the train in fright as the military deployment turns out to be unexpected and dangerous. Inside the train, Yan-suk angrily forces the male attendant to instruct the conductor to leave immediately. Jinhee tearfully pleads with him to wait as her friends and other passengers are still outside. The operation begins. Meanwhile, Seok-woo and the remaining survivors at the station race back to the moving train, being chased by numerous infected people. Seok-woo and Min-yang-gu successfully board the moving train, while Sang-woo, after delaying his entrance to combat other infected, manages to grab Seok-woo's hand and get on board. On the other hand, Sung-jang and the passengers with her hide in a restroom as both sides of the train cars they attempt to enter are surrounded by infected passengers. Jinhee receives a call from Min Yang-gu, her friend, asking him to find her at train car 15. Simultaneously, Sang-woo calls his wife and Soo-won answers, indicating they are stuck in train car 13's laboratory and urgently need rescue. Sang-woo then plans to move through 4 train cars before reaching the other survivors. Min Yang-gu joins them, and they use his baseball supplies as protective gear to combat the infected. In a dark tunnel, they initiate their attack, using fist shields and a baseball bat to fight off the infected. They move to the next car, encountering infected baseball players that Min Yang-wook is hesitant to attack. Seok-woo and Sang-woo fight independently, while Min Yang-wook watches in fear. As the train enters another dark tunnel, they manage to escape the infected passengers. They draw closer to where Sung-jang and the others are. Seok-woo borrows Sang-woo's phone to lower the infected passengers' alertness with a ringing sound. Consequently, the group reunites with the rest of the survivors in the laboratory, planning to move straight to car 15. Silently crawling through the overhead luggage rack, they safely descend during a dark tunnel. However, the homeless man's slide creates noise, attracting infected passengers. Seok-woo approaches him, but as the natural light returns, they run to escape the now alert infected passengers. Running toward the next car, they discover that the car 15 they're heading to is locked. Sang-woo holds onto the glass door of car 14 as infected passengers force their way in. Min Yang-gu, unable to reach Jinhee's phone, angrily smashes the glass door of car 15. On the other side, arrogant survivors ignore calls for help, shutting Jinhee's mouth to prevent noise. As the glass door breaks, Min Yang-guk and the group run to the next door, which Yan-suk forcefully closes. Simultaneously, Seok-woo and Sang-woo persist in blocking and fighting infected passengers. Sang-woo is bitten and his wife moves closer. Tearfully, he screams for her to stop and asks Seok-woo to take care of her, sacrificing himself to block the breaking glass door. As he screams for Yoon Soo-in to be named after their unborn child, the infection spreads through his body. At the same time, Min Yang-guk and the others open the glass door of car 15 seconds before facing potential infection. Seok-woo frustratedly punches Yan-suk, who claims that Seok-woo is infected, leading others to judge him out of fear. The newcomers are sent to the vestibule as frightened passengers believe they are infected. Later, a passenger in car 15 opens the glass door to the infected passengers, causing chaos and death among the arrogant and selfish occupants. After the call from Mr. Kim revealing the devastating consequences of the biotech company they revived, Seok-woo is deeply affected. He tries to console Mr. Kim, but the weight of the news leaves Seok-woo in a state of depression, shedding tears after their conversation. Minutes later, the conductor announces a stop at Dongdaegu Station due to track blockage and looks for a safe train to transfer the surviving passengers. Simultaneously, Seok-woo and the group hurriedly search for the train to Busan Station. Meanwhile, Yan-suk and the male attendant survive the rampage in car 15 by hiding in the laboratory. Yan-suk tricks the attendant into using him as bait for infected people and hastily runs outside, leaving the train's exit door wide open. On the other hand, Min Yang-gu and Jinhee unexpectedly get separated from the group when a moving train sets on fire and overturns, causing massive destruction. They move forward by breaking another train door's glass window. Yan-suk arrives, pushing Jinhee towards Min Yang-guk, and she gets bitten while he is in the process of breaking the window. Yan-suk manages to escape, but Min Yang-guk stays and starts to whimper. Witnessing his friend slowly becoming infected, he gets bitten afterward. Soo-won tearfully wakes her father from sudden unconsciousness, and they find themselves amidst the aftermath of the destruction, surrounded by infected people inside a tilted train. After a while, the conductor begins to slowly move the transferred train. While searching for a survivor approach, he sees Yan-suk and hastily runs to help him. However, stumbling on a steel rail, both Yan-suk and the conductor get infected. Yan-suk, in a state of fear, abandons the conductor and swiftly chases after the moving train. Meanwhile, Seok-woo manages to find a way to escape from being trapped and goes ahead. Soo-won and Sung-jang follow, with the homeless man choosing to stay behind, sacrificing himself to buy them some time. They desperately chase the moving train, pursued by hundreds of infected people, eventually managing to board safely. However, on the train, Yan-suk is on the brink of complete infection. He attacks Seok-woo and bites his hand. Seok-woo, angered, forcefully throws him out of the moving train. As he nears complete infection, Seok-woo hurriedly teaches Sung-jang how to operate the train. He bids farewell to his daughter, both shedding tears while Soo-won clings to his sleeves. Seok-woo leaves the operating room, and Sung-jang holds Soo-won back from following him. Later, Seok-woo reflects on memories of baby Soo-won, smiling before letting himself fall off the train as the infection takes over his body. The movie concludes as Soo-won and Sung-jang arrive at Busan Station. They proceed cautiously through a dark tunnel, while soldiers from a distance spot them. Initially ordered to shoot, one soldier hesitates to pull the trigger. Suddenly, they hear Soo-won emotionally singing, and the soldiers realize they are survivors, rushing towards them. Subscribe and turn on the bell icon for not missing any future videos. If you enjoyed this recap, check out one of these.